Okay, so I'll give you basically a brief introduction to my career path into aquaculture, which is not what you'd expect. I never studied it, it was never part of my thing. I was originally born in Scotland. I grew up in South Africa, immigrated as kids, and then I moved back here. And how did I get into aquaculture? I knew a guy, and I ended up working at Kames Fish Farm. Kames Fish Farm is one of the only farms that actually do trout. We don't do salmon like all the other fish farms you see around the area. And we have been around since 1972, if I remember correctly, and we specialize in steelhead trout, like I said. And I'm going to basically just give you an introduction to where I work. This is my office. We're currently on our feed barge, and I'm just going to give you a quick look around my office. It's better on sunny days. So this is our site. This is in Lochcraignish, and we've got 6 pens on this side. We're currently stocking because we go through a cycle of 18 to 24 months. So we've currently stocked these 3 pens. And if you look on this side, we're busy stocking. This is pen 7. We're busy stocking pen 7. And then you'll see the other ones there. I don't know whether you can see this. They don't have nets on them yet. And like I said, this is our feed barge. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction to some of the things that we do on a daily basis on these sites. In the feed barge, we've currently got 3 computers. I'll try to show you them one by one. This is our feed system. So from here, we can basically start up the computer, and on the feed barge, it's got 4 silos that hold about 50 ton of feed. So from there, can select what feed we want to feed. It's got 4 different silos with 2 diverters, so we can feed 2 cages at any given time. And then you select how much you want to feed, and you'll let it go. This is all remotely controlled. We can feed from in-house, but we actually have a feed technician that does that. This is all connected via Starlink to the server up at head office. This computer is our biomass computer, and we don't have any setup at the moment because, like I said, we've just started inputting fish, but I can give you a breakdown of what it basically does. This is currently from one of our other sites. So every day, the fish can swim through what they call a vacuum frame, a biomass scanner. It's basically a square box. The fish can swim through there, and as a fish passes through there, it will actually calculate the length and the size of the fish, and it works out what the average weight of the fish is. So you can see in this cage, which is cage 1 at Shuna, which is around the corner from us, their biomass, you've got 45.3% of those fish are in the average range of 3 to 4 kilos, and then 9.8 is in the range of 4 to 5 kilos. So this allows us to gauge the growth on the fish. And then what we'll do is we need to split fish down, like at some point, due to RSPCA regulations, we're only allowed to have 15 kilograms per square cubic meter of water. So just in order not to breach that, we have to grade our fish and move them into other cages. So we'll stock 7 cages on the site of the 12. And as the fish grow, we'll split them down into the other 12 cages. Then on this side, this is the camera system. This allows the feed monitor to actually monitor the fish. We have surface cameras, and we have cameras at depth, which these are controllable by winch. So you can go up and down. This allows the feed technician to actually monitor the feeding, because the most expensive cost on a fish farm is actually the cost of feed. You're looking at about 1,200 pounds per ton. So this allows us to prevent wastage and also keeps it from going to the seabed. In this day and age, there's AI now taking over this, where they've actually got automatic pellet detection, where the feed system is actually controlled by AI, and it will speed up and ramp down the feeding as the pellets start to fall down. I've got Blair, like I said, with me. Blair is going to show you a fish. We've got a fish here. We've anesthetized it. Just give you an idea. They're small fish because, like I said, we've got inputs. I'm just going to put you over to Blair quickly, and you can have a look at the fish.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So this is one of our lovely trout.
Just going to put them there, right, so you can see the fish.
So this is a smolt. This is our trout, a steelhead rainbow trout. Though it's not very rainbowy, but that's just the make of the fish, I suppose. My job here is fish health, is to every day check the fishes when we do a sample with them. We get between 10 to 20 fish a day. We check how the fish are looking. That's essentially what we do. So what we tend to do then is when we look at the fish, first of all, we see if there's any damage on the outside, which this fish there is not. Then we check all the fins to make sure there's no any damage on them, on the pectoral fins or stuff like that. Make sure they're all in good working order. Check the gill plate under there as well. And we do this for 10 to 20 fish per pen once a week usually, or sometimes every day if need be. Other thing we need to do is do water samples every day, which that entails is we check the water with a drogue. Essentially, it's a big sieve that gathers all the sort of microbes and plankton in the water, funnels down in a wee screen, put that in a wee tub, and we put all that water sample under a microscope, and we check for plankton, micro jellyfish, if there's any debris in the water, make sure the water's of good quality, and then plus that we do temperature checks, check for the O2 in the water, check for the saturation in the water, the temperature, because that will play a very important role in when do we feed the fish. Is it too hot? Is it too cold? The fish react differently at different temperatures, and with global water temperatures rising, that affects our business long term. And essentially that is my job, what we do every day.
That's Blair's job. Yeah, so in regard to the temperatures, one of the reasons we monitor the temperatures as well is all the feed systems there have feed charts. And obviously you feed the fish according to the temperature. The colder it is, the less they'll actually eat, the slower the metabolism, sorry. So we will slow that down according to the feed chart. But some of our daily tasks on this farm is, like Blair said, it's just basically routine checks, maintenance checks. There's a lot of paperwork in what we do, and we are audited quite a lot. Last cycle, we got audited, I think it worked out about one audit every month. So that's quite a lot of the thing, and you've got to keep all up to date. In regards to aquaculture, obviously what we do is one part of it, which is a very small part of it. If you're not sure what you want to do with a career, aquaculture is a good option because you have a lot of different avenues you could get into. I mean, there's the hatchery side, and in that case, you'll need to study biology and things like that. You've got like just around this area, which is quite rural, the fish farming industry provides a lot of jobs to a lot of people. I mean, we've got lorries, the transportation companies, we've got divers involved, you've got logistics, you've got harvesting planning, you've got sales, and obviously we've got engineers to fix and maintain stuff. That's part of my job here. I basically try to keep most of the things running, and well, as much as I can. Anything out of my hands, I'll get somebody else in to do it. So yeah, so like it all depends what you want to do. One of the nice things about working in this industry, there's a lot of training involved. So you'll come onto this industry with no experience if you don't have any, if you haven't studied anything, and automatically you'll get put through a lot of courses. Because obviously working on a seaside like we do, there's obviously a lot of health and safety risks. So you'll get to do your boat courses through the RYA. You'll do telehandler training, forklift, crane, capstan. Obviously things like fish welfare, first aid, you'll do radar and chart plotter. So there's a lot of courses that you can actually do. So it's a not bad industry to be in, and that's my career path for now, and I'm quite happy with it. So I don't know how much more I need to say about this. I don't know how long I've been, and I know I've been away, a bit delayed with things, so I'm not sure what else I need to tell you guys. And if there's any questions, you can ask me.
That's fabulous. Derek, thank you so much for that. We have had a question in. We have had a wee question in for you. The young people at Dunblane High School would like to know if you stay on the barge overnight or do you head back to the mainland?
Luckily, our job entails, what's the my chair? Sorry. One of the things, quite a lot of the fish farming companies, they do a thing called 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, where you'd actually work for 2 weeks at site and then you'd go home for 2 weeks. Our company works a normal 8 till 5. So I would go home. This feed barge doesn't actually have facilities to sleep on. It does have cooking facilities, coffee, fridge, and all that. Our boats, one of our bigger boats does have facilities to sleep on. So no, luckily I get to go home. If I had to sleep on this thing, I'd be a bit cold.
And how do you deal with the seasickness?
Luckily, I don't suffer from that. Where we work, the chance of getting seasick is very minor. We're quite secluded. We've got an like nice flat loch. Down our other side, which is a little bit further down, that can get a bit bumpy. But I personally don't suffer from it. And if you do suffer from seasickness, you can take medication for that.
Fabulous. Do we have any questions from any of our other viewers at the moment? Let's have a look and see if we've got any coming in.
Also, I want to just show you quickly these little fish here. Can you see the alga?
Yes.
That's not trout. That's actually pollock that swam into the nets. They're hiding around the camera. That's little baby pollock. that's actually hiding in the pen.
Oh, they're hiding it. How do you deal with that?
Well, they just eventually got out, or they get stuck in there, and then they get harvested out with the rest of the fish. This,
Oh,
I mean,
fabulous.
yeah.
We have had another question in asking, are there a lot of young people in the sector?
Definitely. In this area, like obviously I work up in Argyll, which is quite rural. There's a lot of young guys, and they tend to be the ones that don't know where they want to take a career path. So again, getting into aquaculture is quite an easy industry to get into, and you have the opportunity. You can grow quite quickly in the industry if you're willing to put in the work. You obviously know my path that I'm busy studying to learn the backside of the aquaculture. So yes, we generally have a lot of young guys working in the industry. We've had guys starting at 17 in this industry where they've dropped out of high school and they've come to work because that's what they want to do. So yes, we do have young people in the industry.
Good for work experience as well.
Yeah, it is good for work experience. We do actually have things with the schools, and you can come in and do some work experience with us.
Oh, fab. What's your kind of best bit of advice for any young person or anybody, career changer that's kind of thinking about maybe coming into aquaculture?
Well, I'd say the same thing that I said with my Albus Award story is like be a sponge, learn as much as you can, pay attention to what people. Obviously, there's a saying in life, there's three sides to the story. Don't believe everything the first person tells you. Just take everybody's information and learn from it. And yeah, it's just learn as much as you can. There's a lot of careers available in this company, and well, not even this company, in this industry. You can start off as an MO, which is a marine operative, and you can work your way up to management or above. It's not like you're stuck in one position. It all depends on what you want to do and what your career path is. You can go into the fish welfare side of it. You can study biology, go into the actual backside of the nutrition, which obviously with the feed, because what they're doing at the moment, because of the cost of fish feed, obviously we're using fish in the feed, which is not sustainable. They're busy using stuff like soybean and that to get the protein. So there's always stuff in the background. The technology is always changing. They're using AI for, like I said, the feed recognition. There's actually cameras which they now have in the cages, which actually will measure the fish by a camera, and it also detects lice on the fish. So it does all that for you. Not cheap, but I mean, like everything else, as the technology advances, the price will come down.
Fabulous. And do you find you have to kind of work with a lot of technology in your role?
Surprisingly, and a lot more than I expected. I still remember when I started in this industry, which wasn't that long ago, it's just over 3 years. And I was quite surprised to actually see all of the computers and all the bits and bobs, because I've always just pictured fish farming as these big guys with big beards and cigarettes in their mouth and, you know, rough and tough. But there's a lot more behind the scenes than that. There actually is. There's a lot. I mean, we do a lot of paperwork. We use an app called Fish Talk, and everything we do is recorded. It's all computerized. I mean, we are still one of the smaller fish farms. I mean, but some of these bigger companies, the technology they use to do their work is insane.
What would you say is your favourite part of the job, Derek, if you had to pick?
Favorite part? It must be working with these lovely colleagues of mine.
Aww.
He's a very lucky man.
No, it's rewarding. I mean, some days are better than others. I must admit, like, I showed you a quick look around the area where we work. It's going into winter now. It's a bit colder. But like, I mean, it's a great place to work from. It's an awesome office. In summer, you're in shorts and a t-shirt. We're very fortunate to see seagulls here. We get the ospreys up here. So the actual environment we work in is fantastic. Obviously, like I say, winter, not as much fun, cold, snow, ice. However, we do dress for it. We've got all the PPE for the suits and all the fancy bits. So it's you survive.